Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Good. Good morning. Let me start with a very personal question for all of you. Anyone ever had any liquidity problems here in this room? Come on, don't be shy. I did as well. Okay. We're definitely not representative, but let me tell you, around 50% of employees in any given developed market struggle to make it through the month. And this is a problem that impacts people that have a job. They live payday to payday, and whenever they need money, and they cannot access their salary because they have 30-day pay cycles, what they need to do is take on payday loans, any form of short-term credit, and pay high overdraft fees and late fees, because if they run short of money, they don't have a good credit score. And this basically enhances the poverty cycle of a large part of the workforce of any given employer. And not only it's relevant for in their personal lives, but that impacts their productivity at work. Causes absenteeism, causes bad productivity, a lot of worries around money, and this is definitely not good. What we see is that in most countries where there's a 30-day pay cycle, companies are holding the money of our employees, of us actually, until payday, while during the month, people may have liquidity issues. And this is just not fair, and it doesn't make sense, and it only helps payday lenders and these kind of players out there in the market who benefit from this financial stress to make tons of money out of people's problems. And the question is, why can we access our salary during the month in the event we need money, we need liquidity? And we talked with a bunch of HR and payroll professionals, hundreds of them, and there's basically two answers to this question. The first answer is that most of them are not aware that there's actually a problem in their workforce. They don't know how their employees are struggling to get through the month and how that's impacting their productivity, of course. And second answer is that there's people that is aware of this problem. They do acknowledge the fact that while they hold the salaries, people struggle to make it to the next payday, but they don't know how to address this problem or how to solve it, how to find a feasible way of giving liquid access to people's salaries. And this is exactly why we created TIPS. TIPS is a company that is providing large employers especially the possibility to give their employees a true salary on demand, so they can access their earned salaries whenever they need liquidity during the month and before payday. We do it in a way that prevents employees from entering the poverty cycle and from suffering from financial stress. So we are a social wellness benefit. For employers, TIPS represents this benefit that they can give their employees and which will, on the side, impact the productivity, which will improve the retention rates of companies, reduce rotation and churn costs, and definitely improve their acquisition pitch to attract new talent. And they can offer this social benefit without any impact on their processes, which is the most important. For employees, TIPS is instant access to their earned salaries anytime, anywhere, as many times as they want or need the money during the month, limited by the amounts that the company, the employer, has defined for each employee. They do it through their salary, meaning that they don't need to take on any more loans, pay high interest rates, or increase their debt any longer, because they can have access to cash off their salaries through our app. And they do it in a confidential way. They don't need to explain anyone about their financial problems, and they do it in an educational way, because TIPS not only provides liquidity in a given moment, but we also provide tips, we provide financial advice, and a little set of tools to help people budget better and take more control over their finances down the road, so they don't have to go into any kind of debt or poverty cycle anymore. The way this works, as I said before, we partner up with the employers. We define usage controls for their staff. Once we integrate with their payroll software, an invitation is sent out to the employees of this company. They can install the app, and they access right away their earned salary available until the previous day of the month. They see it real time every day. They can cash in anytime they need the money. TIPS transfers the money to them, so the company doesn't have to do anything. We do fund the pay advances, And at the end of the month, we basically conciliate with the company, and we get the money we advanced back by the employer. Let me show you real quick how the app works. This is a login screen. Any employee that has access to tips logs in and immediately sees the earned salary that is available for him or for her at the current day of the month. It's like an ATM. They can just select the amount they need in a given moment. They cash in, they confirm bank accounts are okay, and the magic is done. The money is on its way, and they have solved a liquidity problem thanks to tips and thanks to the employer. We just did a 300 euro withdrawal with tips, which is, it happens to be the average amount of a payday loan. Just to give you a sense of purpose here, 300 euro for a term of 15 days, so basically to be paid back within 15 days to solve a liquidity problem, would cost, in Spain, for example, where we launched, an average of 80 euro in terms of interests and commissions and setup fees and so on. An average of 80 euro for just 15 days. It costs 3 euro with tips. This is the actual game changer. Why? Because we are fighting payday loans and short-term lenders and all of these players out there in the market by turning unsecure consumer loans, which is what people is accessing at the moment when they need liquidity, which have only a personal guarantee behind, which involves high risk and therefore brings along high cost for the individual. And we're turning those into secure pay advances, where the payroll is the collateral and where the debtor is a large corporate that pays tips back within 30 days. And changing these loans where people are getting really punished in terms of interest, in terms of commissions, and entering this poverty cycle into pay advances where the cost is basically ridiculous, like an ATM commission, because we have the payroll as a collateral, is what TIPS is doing for these financially stressed employers out there. To close, TIPS was founded in Barcelona, beginning of this year. We are on track to have over 50,000 employees with access to our service by the end of this quarter, by the end of 2019. We're going international Q1 next year. It's a very scalable business, and we are looking into many markets where we will launch together with existing customers of ours. And to give you a sense on the volume, by the end of 2020, we expect to be giving pay advances in over 5 million euro a month by December. And this is all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you very much for your attention.